Look, if Captain Marvel is basically going to be our savior for the Avengers in Endgame, we're in pretty good shape. Captain Marvel is directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, I believe, and it stars Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, Jude Law, Ben Mendelsohn. Actually, if there's one thing that we don't give Marvel enough credit for, I think they do get a lot of A-list actors in their movies that like you wouldn't even notice. And it tells the story of Carol Danvers and how she becomes Captain Marvel. While Marvel like to say that this wasn't an origin story, it is still a glorified origin story. You pretty much get how she gets her powers, things like that, but it's not like a beat by beat of what you're used to. And it basically tells the story of her getting her powers and basically how she got where she needs to be, and it unravels the truth about her previous life from where we first meet her. Me personally, I think the story is pretty okay. There's a twist in it that if you read the comics, you may not be a fan of, mostly because, actually, I'll just talk about that at the end. I think the story's okay. I don't think it's anything spectacular, and I think that's pretty much the theme of my review for this movie. Brie Larson, I think, is okay also. I don't think she blows me out the water. What's always been kind of funny to me is a lot of these characters that we see in the MCU are better in the big ensemble pieces. Like Doctor Strange is nowhere near as good as he was in his own movie in Infinity War, and I think that probably will be the case for Captain Marvel in Endgame. I think she's okay. Where we see the character could go and how powerful she is, I think it's dope, but I don't think this movie does anything that's like, oh my god, her as a character I love. Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn kind of take the cake for me for the standouts in this movie. Ben Mendelsohn, to be exact, is amazing as Talos in this movie. Samuel L. Jackson with the de-aging technology that they do is actually really good. You actually never really notice the de-aging technology that you would normally see, that we saw like Star Wars for and dang, I forget the dude, but in Rogue One we saw it, and in Rogue One we saw it twice, so where like you can notice the de-aging technology, but this one was kind of dope. Hopefully we get to see what Scorsese does with it in The Irishman. I think the CGI is pretty okay. I think just overall, there's nothing really stand out about this movie, and that's pretty much an easy review of this. There's nothing like that's going to blow your mind about this movie. Obviously her powers are dope. Hopefully we get to see where, that goes into Endgame. The action scenes are okay. None of them are really like, oh my god. Sometimes you're like, okay, that was kind of dope, but nothing is necessarily going to blow your mind when you walk out of this movie. I think it's just an okay movie. I think it's pretty much what you would expect when you walked into this movie. It's a pretty typical MCU movie. I think Marvel has kind of mastered, this kind of formula they do for these movies. I think as a film for women, I think there are a lot of subtle things that they do to empower women that I think are kind of dope, that don't kind of pander to you and beat you over the head. There are some things in this movie that you kind of roll your eyes at. I don't want to talk too much on that, but there's some things that you're like, really? Like, that's really? But overall, I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's just okay. I think the only reason you want to watch this movie is for the first end credit scene, really. Nothing that's really going to blow your mind. I know if you're one of the Marvel people who have seen all of these movies, you'd want to see this one. It's okay. I would not rush to see it again. This is really just a precursor for Endgame for me. Overall, I'm going to give Captain Marvel a 7. If I'm the good, I'll probably get a 7.5. Well, so this is kind of a spoiler. I'm going to put a time code right here to skip to get to some of my announcements that I will have towards the end of the video. Okay, so in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, at the end of this movie, what we know the Skrulls to be in some iterations in the comics as these kind of villains, especially in the Fantastic Four, where they can basically duplicate your powers, and there's a whole comic storyline where the main Skrull, I believe, I don't know what his name is in the comics. I know in this movie Talos is the main Skrull, where he basically takes all the powers of Fantastic Four, and that's kind of a very dope villain who basically has all the powers of Fantastic Four. Up against 4 individual people with 4 individual powers. That would have been dope, but in this movie, the plot twist is like they're kind of the good guys, even though it should have made sense that the Kree would be the bad guys, because Ronan's also in this movie. I don't know. I was just kind of like let down, because if this Fox merger was going to happen, I would have really loved to see that storyline of the Fantastic Four versus the Skrulls. Alright, so if you skip past the spoilers, here I am. I go to South by Southwest tomorrow, and I see Us 2 weeks before it comes out. And the following Saturday, I get to see Pet Cemetery. And actually, on Saturday, I see Longshot. I see Little Monsters. I see Curse of Lorna. I'm basically going to see a lot of movies that come out early. So you guys should see a lot of dope stuff from this channel early. But there's still more announcements I need to kind of give out. Just the overview of my life, things that have happened. Lastly, I recorded a most anticipated movie, my most anticipated list of movies that are coming out this year on Saturday. I haven't released it, so maybe I'll drop that tomorrow. Yeah, that's to look forward to. But yes, Captain Marvel. If you're a Marvel fan, I've seen all these movies pretty much in theaters, other than probably Iron Man 1, Incredibles, The Incredible Hulk. Yeah, pretty much seen all of them in theaters, and Iron Man 2. But if you're gonna watch it, I think if you watch all the other ones, you might as well just keep the streak going. So I'll see you guys later. My name is Adedina.